From the flight deck of the astral plane, this is your captain, Starpilot33, checking in with flight log number 4. This was a different trip. This one was really special, and it's because it was a gift trip from a friend who gave me some very special tickets to space for this one. And I was really curious to see how they would compare to the ones I normally do. Now, these were also PE mushrooms, and I will say they were incredibly powerful. It was a 4-gram trip, and it was absolutely unbelievable. So, to my friend who gave me these wonderful tickets to space, I know you're listening. Thank you so much. You're awesome, and I love you, man. That was incredible. Now, normally when I do these videos, I'm reading off of a script that I've written down, but I really just want to tell it for the first time, just speak it out loud. So I'm doing this without a script, just talking into the microphone, and I just got back from this trip a few hours ago, so that's why I might sound a little looped out still. So anyway, yesterday I had planned to do this, and I was getting myself ready all day, and actually in the days before, and it struck me that whereas most trips I really feel like I'm hesitant to do it all the way up to the last minute, like I have to make sure everything is perfect, and the set and setting, and nobody's throwing any loud parties outside or anything. This one, it felt like it was go time. Like this was really right to do it tonight, no matter what. No matter what's going on outside and thunderstorms and whatever other excuse I might come up with, that it was really, really the right time. So around, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock, I look at my phone, and it says software update will be auto-installed later tonight. Okay, whatever. All right, so later that afternoon, I went home, got ready, and basically said, let's just do this. And got the special gift shrooms from my friend, and I had already prepared them up a couple days ago, and took the whole 4-gram dose and swigged it with orange juice like always. And it came on pretty quick. I'd say within a half an hour, I started to feel real heavy, and it became real clear it was time to just lay down on the couch and get my blanket and all my stuff. I have, my water bottle and my chapstick. The entities gave me a lot of crap about that chapstick this time. They were making fun of me the whole time, and I'll get to that later, but the chapstick just keeps reappearing throughout this whole trip as this giant cosmic joke. So anyway, I really wanted to meditate through the come up, which normally I just over time always avoided it, or distracted myself through it, or watched some movie as I'm feeling it sort of take effect, and you get that clenching in your chest where you feel it tensing up as the mushrooms start to take effect. And I was like, I did it last time, and I'm going to do it this time too, where I'm just going to meditate through the whole come up. And it was interesting. There were some visuals, there were some very shallow places that I went that were just barely on the edge of consciousness, and there was a couple entities that came over and looked at me, like faceless ones that just like studied me for a little bit. And this happens really frequently during the come up. I noticed things will come over and just take a look at you, and I just, if ever I don't like the vibe of one of them, I'll just tell them to beat it. But these were all friendly. They were just curious. And several times I just opened my eyes, and you switch to the next scene, because when you're still on the come up, you're still able to do that. They haven't really pulled you under yet, and you're going on a ride. You can still kind of come up for air when you want to. So we kept going deeper in, and it was getting darker outside. My co-pilot cat was nowhere to be seen. He was late, and one of my other cats decided to jump up with me on the couch, and that was appreciated. He never does that, so he knew what was going on. So then it really got down to business. It came on real strong, and they were telling me, "You're late for your upgrade. Hurry up. We need you, Starpilot." I'm like, okay, let me find my chapstick. I was continually losing my chapstick throughout the whole night, and they're laughing at me and saying, "If you lose that one more time." And so I got back on the couch, and I was like, all right, I'm ready. Let's blast off. And there was some sort of a squadron commander or somebody was there, that I'm answering to through this whole thing. And it was like literally 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. And it was all, spaceships and off to another dimension, like I've done so many times before. But they kept stressing to me that you're late for your upgrade. And so I really didn't know what that was about, but I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. And when I woke up again after coming out of hyperspace with this spaceship, I was laying on the couch again, perfectly lucid, and talking to them being entities, aliens, whatever you want to call it, but they were there in the room. And it was so overwhelming because they said to me they wanted to thank me for everything and for this project that I've been working on for many, many years. They wanted to thank me for that and said it was so important to them that I took on the challenge of completing that project, and that they're just so happy and thrilled. And I said to them that, well, I should be thanking you for everything you've done for me over the years and for this whole experience. And it was this mutual thanking back and forth, and I just had tears just like shooting out of my eyes, just dripping everywhere. And it was just a beautiful moment. And then they were talking about the concept of love and how we misuse that term here and what it means on more of a dimensional scale. And they said, "Do you know what I love you means?" And I said, "Well, I think I do, And they're like, "It means this." It means this you, this being this huge psychedelic experience, this beautiful wonder of life and just knowledge and oneness with all." They said, this you. That's what love is. Love is me loving you with all of this experience. And I thought that was really cool. So that kept being a theme throughout the night too, when I'd say, "I love you guys," and they'd say, "We this you, Starpilot." So it was great. So after the introduction and them thanking me for everything and me thanking them for everything, they said it's time to get down to business, but we wanted to do that first because we really want you to know how we feel before you go through everything you're about to go through tonight. And I was like, uh-oh, here we go. But they said, please remember that this is how we started this, because whatever happens from here is done out of love. And I said, okay, all right, let's go. And so once again, this theme of the upgrade kept coming up, and I really didn't understand what it was, but they told me that it's something that needs to happen right now, and it's very important that it happens right now. And right then was when my co-pilot cat decides to show up. So I let him in, and he jumps up and sitting there on my chest through some of this. And then he jumped down and wanted to go out. And so I went outside with him in the backyard for a little bit. There was somebody out there. He saw something, another animal or a spirit of something by the door. And he wanted to go out, and he was pawing at the glass window. And the other cats were looking out there too, like there was a friend out there or something. I had to flip the light on, there's nothing there. So I opened the door, and he goes right out, so I go out with him, and there's nothing out there, but they clearly felt the presence of something out there. So I went out there in the backyard and sat down for a while, and the skies were cloudy, so there was no stars to see, but even in the darkness, with your vision being so much better, everything was like gray. It was like a dim lighting, even though it was pretty much pitch black out there. And we sat there for a moment, and, you know, he had his little hugs and kisses. He always does. He always knows when I'm tripping, and he gets a kick out of it. And then we went back inside, and I knew it was time to go head for the bedroom. It was about 10 o'clock right now. I started at 7, so about 3 hours in. And this was a very strong time dilation one, where it just ages felt like they passed between hours, and I would look at the clock and it's like only 15 minutes later than it was. So finally we're almost at 10 o'clock, and I decided to head into the bedroom, and that's when they said, okay, take your contacts out. I'm like, I don't know if I can take my contacts out. Like, I can't even see straight. And they're like, you can do it, take them out. You know, we gave these to you. And I'm like, what? I said, yeah, we gave you your contacts. We gave you your telephones, your computers, all of your technology, your phone. They said, the technology on your phone, that's ours. We gave it to you. They said, my phone was off at the time because I always turn it off. They said, go ahead, turn it on. And I went to turn it on, and it wouldn't turn on. I plugged it in, it's dead. And they go, yeah, we turned it off. Your phone's never going to work again. They were laughing. I said, we turned it off, and it's never ever going to work again until we turn it back on. And they said, we do stuff like this all the time. We can turn off medicines, make them work and not work. We can turn off, just radio waves. Apparently, it seems like all of our technology comes from these guys. And they gave it to us as a gift. And then things really started to amp up quick, and by that I mean their presence became so strong in the room, or in my mind and in the room, that they were speaking to me very seriously, and they said, we're here. If you want to call us aliens, you want to call us whatever you want, we're here and we're real, and this is really happening, and you need to realize that this is absolutely not going on in your mind, that this is going on for real, and your phone's never going to work again. And so I said, I believe you. I totally believe you. And they argued with me and said, we don't think you really believe us. We think that you still think this is part of what's in your head, and that somehow you're cooking this up, and you need to prove to us that you believe what we're saying. I said, well, how do I prove that to you? What do I need to do? And they said, you need to agree to this upgrade because we need you. So if you agree to do this, then we'll believe that you believe in us. And I said, deal, let's go. And so I went and lay down in bed, and for the next, what felt like 2,000 years, I was basically in like alien mental software upgrade limbo, laying there in a pool of computer software ooze coming out of my ears, as they were trying to figure out a way to get this upgrade to work. And they're explaining it along the way, but I really felt like they were scrambling my head. They said that apparently the universe, or they said that's a bad word for it. They said it's like our dimension in general. Just recently went through a major overhaul and upgrade, and that they got to make sure that I'm compatible with the new system. And they said that I was made with a base code that was original, and they're not sure if they can just upgrade me straight. They said they may have to go in and rearrange some stuff to make it work. And throughout the night, it went up and down with frustration on their part of not being able to get this to take hold. And there were several times when they were saying, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work. And I said, what can I do? And I couldn't do anything to help. And then the tide would turn, and they said, okay, we think we know what to do. We had to rearrange some directories and rewrite some stuff and reinstall it. And I just was baffled by this whole thing. But I could feel something taking place because I was completely just immobilized, and I had all kinds of strange words going through my head, funny stuff, stuff that'll make you laugh, and they were trying to make me laugh through this. It's almost like if you've ever been in a hospital when you were a kid, and the nurses are trying to make you laugh in just any way they can. It was like that. Like, they were doing something really serious, and they knew that I was kind of in the dark about what they were doing, and they were trying to keep it light and throw a laugh out there every now and then. And the thing about the chapstick, they're like, "Where's your chapstick, Starpilot? You better find it. Like, distract me with something so that I don't get all worried about what they're doing." So throughout this whole procedure, it was incredibly physically and mentally really uncomfortable. There were several times when I swore I was going to throw up, and we're almost at 11 o'clock now, so I ate these things 4 hours ago, and yet the nausea was still really overpowering, and they would say things like, "A good starship captain never pukes," and I'm like, "I'm not going to, I promise," but it was really physically challenging, and also the restlessness of feeling like you can't stay still, like flopping around like a fish in the bed, just with discomfort at some points. And I had like cramps going on in my feet where they were curling up, and the pain of that, and they're trying to show me how to get rid of that and how to relax that. They were helping me through all this, but they said this is all part of the new system installation that's going on. But I got the sense with, like, this was really serious. Like, there was a team of them all working like IT people. They were all working to solve this problem of trying to make sure that this upgrade took effect. And at some point I asked them, like, what is this for? And how is this going to help me? And they said that this will make you compatible with the changes that were just made to your dimension. And also, it will allow us to communicate better with you. Now, I don't know what that means, whether that means they're going to be trying to communicate with me outside of mushrooms. That would be really cool. Maybe all of the synchronicities that have been happening lately through numbers for me for the last 6 months, lots and lots of number synchronicities. Maybe that was their way of talking to me before through the old operating system, I guess, that I had, and maybe there'll be a new way moving forward. I don't know, but it seemed like they were really intent on trying to somehow make sure that I got upgraded to match our dimension's new coding, I guess. And what they told me was, this isn't literal. This isn't like literally the universe is a computer type thing. They were using terms that I could understand, and they were more metaphorical terms, but to represent what was really happening. So I get that, no, the universe isn't a physical computer, and no, we don't have actual operating systems, but it was something analogous to that. And so I remember about 2 o'clock in the morning. Usually by 2 o'clock in the morning, the trip is fading and I can feel it. And it really wasn't at this point. I kept waking up and looking around, and I was still clearly tripping that far in. And right around 2 o'clock, I felt like I was asleep or on a state of unconsciousness during this part of the trip, where I maybe fell asleep, I'm not sure. And it was like I had a device on my right side of my chest that suddenly started giving me electric shocks, like an electrocution, and my heart felt like it was gonna flutter out of my chest. And all I could do through like the convulsions was reach over and try to get this thing off of me. And I somehow did, but the sensation was real. Something electrically was really happening in my body. It was not imagined at all. And I either touched this device or pulled it or did something, and it stopped, but there was a shrieking sound that was like something from a horror movie nightmare. It was this, and then this feeling of complete terror at the sound and at the shock that just happened to my body. It was like a moment of just sheer terror, and then it was over. And I said, "Did you guys just unplug me?" And they said yes, that the upgrade is complete, we got it to work finally, and you're all done. And I said, "Am I okay?" They said, "Yeah, you're okay, you're fine, we love you, enjoy your new upgrade," they said. And they just kept telling me that they love me and that this is all a good thing, and that they thanked me for going through this and wanting to be a part of this, and that they were so appreciative of that. And so I went and drank some more water. Apparently during this trip, I drank 3 liters of water through the night, and yet I still felt thirsty. So 3-liter bottles I drank and sweated out most of it. But I went back to sleep at that point, or they told me, "You need rest, you need to go to sleep," and I was kind of arguing with them because I wanted to talk more, and they just like, "You need to go to sleep, we're gonna just clean up some files and you'll be good, but the installation's complete, it's just we're cleaning up now, so relax and just try to go back to sleep here." And so I did, and at 4 o'clock, exactly 4 o'clock on the dot, that electrical zap thing happened again. It was a little bit different, but it was the same sort of thing. It was like an electrocution shock in my system, and another feeling of complete terror. And I woke up again, and it was like, "Are you guys still here?" And they said, "Yeah, we're still here." They said, "That's just you're getting used to the new settings. That may happen again, but it'll stop eventually. But you're acclimating to all of the new parameters that are plugged in, and it may take a little while for you to get used to it, but you're going to really enjoy it, and we're so glad we got this to work." And then I said, "Well, I feel like I need to get my phone and turn it on and record something or talk," and they're like, no, you need to lay here and you need to sleep now because you just went through a whole lot, and we're going to go. But we're always with you. And, again, they told me how much they love me, and I was just laying there, and I was like, "I love you guys, I love you guys." And so then I went back to sleep, and I woke up about 11 after that, and I just lay there trying to put together everything that just happened. And it was like, where do I even begin? Like, where do I even begin to tell this story? And how do I tell it in a way that people can understand how powerful it was? And I don't know what it all means. I don't. I kind of do. I don't know. All I know is I'm Starpilot 2.0 right now, apparently, and the universe just got some sort of an upgrade, and maybe that's what's going on in the world right now. Maybe that's why everything is so just bizarre. Maybe there is really a big switch going on. And, but it sure seems like they're looking to upgrade some people, so don't be surprised if it happens to you, because it seems like their team is traveling around doing these upgrades, because it seemed like they were on to the next one after me. But as brutal as it was at some parts, the feeling of just unbelievable love from them was really, it comforted me so much, because I was kind of scared at some parts, like, what is going on? Before they started the upgrade, they sat me down and they told me that, like, this is absolutely for real. This is happening right now. We are real. We are here. We've shut your phone off. We've shut your internet off, and you are completely dark to the world right now, because we just took over, and that's what we can do. And they weren't doing it to be scary. They were doing it to really tell me that this was not in my head. And I believe them. I really do. That didn't come from me, guys. I made up a lot of stuff in my life, but I didn't make that up. So, But how cool is that? There's people out there that are looking out for us. And another thing that I got the sense was that they work for the greater good. These are not invasive, like aliens from somewhere looking to take over. Like, they work for the ultimate creator. They are part of his team of maintaining this dimensional structure and the parts that make it up. And so I'm a part of it, you're a part of it. But the fact they revealed themselves to me in such a tangible, real way and made it clear that this is absolutely real, I'm really thankful for that, because if there was any doubt in my mind, I don't know if I would have been as willing to, go along with it and forego maybe any other revelations and wisdom I was hoping to get out of the night, or fly more spaceships or whatever. But when they sat me down and they said, this is the plan for the night, and this is what we're doing, and this is why, and I was just really, really in awe, I guess is the best word I could say, completely in awe of them. And then what they put me through was nothing short of a complete rearranging of my whole brain. I'm still not quite sure what they did, but I feel really good considering what I went through last night. I feel like awesome this morning. And but I know I gotta take it easy. Like, I can still feel it when I stand up. My heart starts, beating extra fast. Like I, just did some exercise, but I didn't. So I have to really go easy on myself here today and just try to process what happened. And I know in the days and weeks that are coming up ahead, I'll probably be able to extract more from everything. But these were some really special mushrooms, extremely powerful mushrooms. I said that was the strongest 4-gram trip I've ever had. I mean, that was no joke. And that one could have gone off the rails very quickly. And if that whole like electrical shock terror moment, if that's happened to people throughout a trip and it's in an extended amount of time, that would really, really be frightening. I hope I never see that again. I would rather meet the devil again than to go through that electric shock terror thing when they unplugged me, and when whatever that system setting thing that happened at 4 o'clock. That was probably the scariest thing I think I've ever felt, taking mushrooms. And they did kind of hint that it might happen again while I'm asleep, maybe in the next few days. So if it happens, I know that it's just part of the upgrade, but that, I'm just acclimating, I guess, to the new system. But it was just really a powerful experience. So I woke up this morning, and of course the first thing I did was contact my friend who gave me these amazing gifts, and told him that those mushrooms are just chock full of aliens, and and they upgraded me. So thank you once again, my friend. That was amazing. That really was. And so I'm considering maybe doing another video about a supplemental flight log on this once I figure out what it all means. We'll see. I don't know. But I definitely feel like, once again, that was a level up from any experience I've ever had. And I'm curious to see how this one gets integrated into my normal life, as opposed to the other trips I've had, which seemed very vanilla compared to this one. This one was much, much different, on a much different level than anything I've had in the past 9 years of doing this. So until next time, guys, take care of yourself. It's always a good time to stay home and travel in this crazy time in the world. And if you have the opportunity to do so, I encourage it. I really enjoy hearing from all of you through your messages and comments and emails. And if you want to email me, my address is starpilot33@protonmail.com, and that's in the video description. I love hearing your stories about your trips, and if you've ever experienced anything remotely like what I just went through tonight, please let me know. I would really love to hear about it. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you on the other side.